something we haven't done in a while.
Yes.
I can't say that we've ever. Well, we've tried to go live a few times while we've been in Wyoming.
Yeah, our internet is like
It's a little
sketch.
sketchy. Well, where we lived, it was. Here,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
It's better, much better.
So, hi guys, I'm Kevin.
Wait, okay, where? Oh, wait, there we are.
And
sorry,
this is Heather.
Hi, I'm trying. Okay, so I have a case of the olds, so I can't see on his phone way over there if you comment.
Yeah. Here, we'll bring it in a little closer.
Well, okay.
Just sit here.
But so I need to be able to see the comments, but I can't because I'm old. So.
Well, forget that for a minute because we wanted to just pause a minute and say.
Oh, turn it down, turn down, turn down, turn down.
Thank you. This is going really well so far.
It has been a long time.
It's been a long time. We just wanted to pause and say thank you. 4,000 subscribers.
Yes.
Can you believe it?
No.
I remember when we got excited about 500.
Well, I remember when we got excited about 100.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
I remember we were with Brad and Krista when that happened.
That's
like, oh my gosh!
Woohoo!
Yeah.
But we want to thank you guys for watching our channel. We know that it's been a little bit inconsistent with some of the videos that we've been making. Heather's mom was in for a great visit.
Yes.
And we have teenagers now. And so that changes the rhythm of your life considerably.
Yes.
When you have that. Hi Tina, how are you? And we wanted to say thank you for subscribing to our channel, but we also wanted to give you some updates of our life. And the biggest one is that we have an 18-year-old.
Yes.
And they're graduating from high school.
Yes.
She is graduating from high school this year. And that's a pretty big change for us. Yeah. The majority of our boys, all three of our boys, are over 6 foot tall.
Well,
with the exception of maybe one, but he's really
so
close.
Here is.
They're all really close.
Our tallest one is our middle son, Jack. And if you guys remember, Jack, our kids are kind of not wanting to, be on videos right now just because, they're teenagers and they're self-conscious and they've got a life of their own. And so we don't make them do that. But if you remember from way back in the day, all of my kids were shorter than me. Yeah. And that is not the case anymore. Katie is the only one, and that's only by about an inch.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
Our middle boy Jack is 6'2", and Miles is 6 foot, and Max is about 5'10". So our oldest son is actually the shortest one of the bunch.
But they're not short.
No, they're not
Even
short.
at their shortest, they're not short.
Well, and it's funny because our oldest boy, he has a girlfriend, and she's super petite, and I mean she's the sweetest thing, and she's super cute, and just the prettiest little thing, and she makes him look like a giant just when he stands next to her. So.
But all of them are doing well in school, and all of them are keeping us busy. They all have jobs, and they all have lives that are cruising along. We're homeschooling, and so that's keeping us busy. And of course, ministry is keeping us busy because I'm in a new place.
And I have to get Katie's diploma for graduating high school. I believe we're doing that through the Homeschool Legal Defense.
What a great resource.
Yes, if you
That's
homeschool,
a great resource.
I would highly recommend that.
Yeah.
She is right now, for the state of Wyoming, she actually only has 2 classes that she has to do, regular classes. So she's been taking classes at the community college here for graphic design.
Yeah.
And she got herself a new job. She was working at one place, and now we won't tell you where she's working, but now she's working at another, and the person there was like, well, maybe you can help me with some of my signs and stuff like that. So she's pretty excited about that.
Well, and she gets to cook stuff, and she loves to cook just as much as Heather does.
We ate where she works today. It was fun.
That was pretty good. So Heather's mom was visiting, and while she was visiting, we kind of put a hold on the videos, and if you notice, Heather hasn't done any basic series lately.
Kitchen
basic series, but that is coming back.
Yes.
That is something that you guys could tune into and see. Give us a little details about what's to come.
Probably next week. I did the basics of your kitchen setup, and especially if you have a small kitchen, because my kitchen is not big at all, and so we've had to improvise with
it's a fun
counter
setup,
space and stuff like that. And then I did one on measuring and baking, and the next one's going to be on No, I did not. First one was on measuring, like all your measuring cups and the gadgets that are necessary in your kitchen. Like you don't actually need a KitchenAid mixer. You can do it all with the whisk. Now,
yeah, but you made biscuits.
I did. I made biscuits, and then this next one's going to be the essentials of baking. Like what do you need to bake, and then I think after that, like prep work and cooking. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of show you kind of all of it.
Yeah.
And cookbooks that I would recommend.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. So.
Yeah. Let's say hi to a few people.
Okay.
I see Darlene was just
on there. Hi, Darlene.
And hi, Tina.
Yep.
We said Tina. Wasn't there someone else?
No, we have 5 people watching. Which
that
surprises me because we haven't been live in like forever.
Yeah.
So.
We're lucky to have 5.
Yes.
But the fun part about those series is that you've been getting a really good response to them.
Yeah.
People have been really excited and leaving some positive comments. And over the last, I think Heather and I were talking that it's like 4-ish years that Goin Batty's been in existence. And we have people to thank for that kind of showed us the ropes on running through like YouTube and how to do things. And we want to say thank you to Big Family Homestead as always.
They were a big part of that.
Brad and Krista were a huge help.
The name of our channel came from Brad.
That's right.
Brad thought that up.
He did, and we're very grateful for that too. We also want to say a big thank you to.
Hey, it's okay. Prepared Living is Patrick and Crystal. They changed their name, so I've been watching your videos, but I haven't been able to comment because like 4 teenagers in the house is like super crazy. So I've become the thing that I never wanted to be was just the taxi mom, and we have 4 cars, and I'm still driving.
Yeah, you're still driving people around. So. Well, and the other thing too is we've gotten kind of lazy and started watching it on our TV because we have a smart TV, and it's hard to comment when you're on your smart TV. They don't have a way to comment on your smart TV.
That's true. You have to be on your phone and.
Yeah. But welcome, you guys. We're glad to see you too. We want to say thank you to Living on a Dime as well because Mike was a huge help to me, and I know that their friendship has meant a lot to us. Who are now fellow Wyomingites?
Yes, Wyomingites.
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 They recently made the move to God's country. And
yes,
it is beautiful.
We feel that way because
I love
it is
here.
So much less people-y out here than anywhere we've ever lived.
15 minutes in any direction and you are alone.
Yes.
And it is awesome.
And for the extroverts out there, that may not sound like heaven to you. For us introverts, we're like, yay!
But there's plenty to do for the extroverts. There's all kinds of things here for extroverts to do.
Yeah.
And Salt Lake is far enough away that you can,
Yeah.
But no, the move from Ohio to Wyoming was a drastic difference, and it definitely changed our perspective on what wide open spaces are, and Wyoming is definitely a beautiful place. It's really been a blessing for us. But anyway, we've got a whole lot of gratitude out there for a whole lot more of you. That there's more than we can name, but we wanted to thank you guys specifically for subscribing to our channel. We're not done yet. We are sitting in the trailer. And this trailer has had, we've taken it a few places. I'm pretty excited about it because when we bought it, my wife thought I was...
That crap crazy.
And we renovated it, and it has gone all the way up to Montana with us and back.
Yes.
We've taken it out on a few camping trips, not too many, but a few.
Sheep's Creek Canyon. And,
some places out in the Uinta Mountains, which are awesome.
Yes.
And we've been really blessed by this little trailer, and it seems to work, except our refrigerator went out. But we're going to be making some more renovations soon.
Putting a new refrigerator in would cost more than the actual trailer cost with all the renovations.
We're going to get one of those smaller ones that are cooler size. They're the smaller ones, and they run off the 12-volt batteries, so that'll be a little bit easier to maintain. But with the refrigerator was quite a trip getting it out of here. 1981
is when this. So
it was kind of old.
I was 6 when they built this trailer.
Yeah.
You can guess at my age now, but
I was 12, I think.
Oh yeah, because
like that.
because he's a cradle robber. So
I don't think you want to say that on a live stream for YouTube.
No, we met when we were in our 20s. No, well, no, you were in your 30s and I was in my 20s.
Oh, this has gone south so bad, but it's okay. We're glad to have you guys watching, and we're glad to do that.
Just popped my ankle.
Ouch, that's not fun. So what else? What else do we had to tell? We had a whole laundry list of things that we're going to talk about.
The garden. We had a longer growing season this year.
Hi, Brad.
We had our first snow didn't come on Labor Day this year. It came the 12th of October for Miles's birthday.
Yep.
And then we've had 3 more, not snowstorms, but snow. The thing about here is that you could have 4 inches of snow in the morning and by noon, because there's usually a 30-degree difference between night and afternoon. Your snow can all be melted.
Yeah, it melted off pretty quick.
So, usually by mid-November, it kind of doesn't melt off as quickly anymore. So, So my garden did pretty well for the first time. We have learned that full sun here is totally different than full sun in Ohio.
Yeah.
Full sun in Ohio, you have enough humidity in the air and you get enough rain that things don't dry out here. Full sun here is you're just going to bake your plants. So I had one bed that didn't do so great. But
this summer was hotter than normal too.
Yeah, and we're still trying to figure out water management.
Yep.
And so the ones that were kind of had a little bit of shade did great. My one in the full sun where I planted all my plants that needed full sun, they're like, no, this is too hot and too dry.
They did not like that. That was not their favorite.
So we're going to reconfigure again our garden beds.
A huge herb garden. Lots of herbs that we were able to dry out. And Brad Tolby just said he's avoiding Wyoming until June, which is a whole...
We had 3 great weeks of summer. It was awesome.
There's 2 seasons in Wyoming. Winter and construction. And that's it.
Well, maybe 3. And hunting.
And hunting,
Hunting is huge around here. Kevin's going hunting for the first time.
I am. I've got my first elk tag.
Yep.
I'm going out for a cow, and
then one of our volunteers with the youth ministry is taking our oldest boy out.
Yeah, he goes.
He can't hunt, but he's going to learn from him how to kind of do it. He went and shot a hunting rifle with his girlfriend's dad for the first time, and he said that he's right. The dad actually said he's actually really good. Yeah. So I'm like, well, what do you know?
Well, and the really fun part about living in Wyoming is that people hunt for food.
Yes.
They're not hunting because they like the sport of it and then they waste the meat. They are hunting because they like the sport of it and they use the meat. And let me tell you, as you've seen on some of our videos, there's some elk meat recipes out there that are off the charts.
I've done venison jerky. Mm-hmm. I've done elk burgers. I've done like an elk roast.
Yeah.
I prefer the elk. I think it has super lean. I mean, super lean, but I think it has deer can. We've had one package of deer that was a little gamey tasting, but not bad. I've had deer before where it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But our elk has not been that way, and it's been really nice because and actually one of the best hunters that we know is about a 5 foot tall woman, and she's brought down a moose.
Yeah, so she's pretty awesome.
She's awesome, man. I was like, I want to go hunting with her.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a family thing. She takes it's
her
and she's a little 5 foot nothing. Then her husband's like 6'4", and then
their kids are
4 and like just barely 2, and they all go hunting together. I'm like, that's cool. So.
And people don't vacation until hunting season.
Yeah.
So the fall, the whole rhythm of the year is different. During the fall, that's when people go camping and people go vacationing, and it's really a blast. I mean, you have those who don't, but the super majority of them do go hunting, and it's really awesome. So, are you looking at something?
No, I don't know. I can't focus. I'm sorry.
It's been kind of a long day, but we did feel like we needed to come on and say, hey, thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing to our channel. I feel like there was something else we were going to tell them about upcoming stuff, but maybe I covered that already. We were in a rental when we did some of our videos. You might have noticed that we
couldn't do live streaming over
we necessarily couldn't do some of the things we wanted to do. And we didn't have a whole lot of space to do it, so we bought our own house, and
but we
live here now.
In that house, we may not have been able to do what we wanted, but we had a slamming Matador mirror above our fireplace. I'm like, that didn't make sense here. No. And the funny thing is one of our good friends, he knew the people that lived in that house when he was in high school. And he's like, yep, it was there when he was in high school. And I'm like, I could understand, cattle on it. I could understand a bucking horse, but a Matador, we're in cowboy country, but we don't see a lot of Matadors.
We're not in Matador country, no.
No, that's Spain.
That's a whole different thing. But we've had a chance to move into our own house now, and you've seen some of the videos from that. And Heather's gardening has just been awesome this year, considering it's the first year in a backyard she's not familiar with. Mm-hmm. And we've learned a couple things. We're going to redesign some flower beds so that they're up a little higher. They're kind of stand-up flower beds or waist-high flower beds, mm-hmm. So that I can do it too, because I can't get down on my knees real well. She got all kinds of stuff. We got potatoes. We got a ton of cucumbers. Yep. She pickled so many pickles, I couldn't even... We still have 5 or 6 jars of refrigerator jars. What?
Well, you kept giving them away to everyone.
No, they're in this... There's a lot.
There's only 2.
Oh, man. Well, we had, and I couldn't help it because, man, they're so good. It's a great way to say we love you to the people that are in our church family. And we have a great church family here, a great church community that is a huge blessing to us in so many different aspects.
I helped a friend of mine. We did tomato sauce and the salsa verde together. And it was funny because her husband, he was given his tomato plants, and they were all the little tiny cherry tomato plants. Yeah. Well, trying to skin those and and we had to pick them because we were getting a cold snap and they weren't going to be any good. No. And so realizing just how little those little tiny tomatoes. I think we got 4 jars total, quart jars. Yeah. Quart jars, and then 2 jars of tomato, red tomato sauce. And I said, I understand now why my grandma and grandpa, they planted a big garden. My mom and dad planted a big garden. Then we just sectioned out weeks of we're just doing tomatoes. We're just doing jellies. We're just doing, things like that. Because when you do a little bit at a time, you're sitting there going, that is a lot of hard work for that little bit of stuff.
It is. And the garden itself, I mean, we had tons of herbs that we're still enjoying.
I
dried out a lot of them.
Yeah, I dehydrated all of my herbs. Yep. The day before we got our first killing frost. Yep. And so I thought I would just be able to put them in the little jars, but I had to use my Rubbermaid. Kind of they're not the biggest size, but they're they're about a cup size. Yeah. So that's quite a bit, and that's for almost every one of the herbs I planted. That's right. So
yeah, Darlene says she's canning strawberry jam soon.
Ooh, and applesauce. She canned applesauce.
Sounds very good.
We have a couple at our church that they have an apple tree and an apricot tree, and I did make apricot preserve.
We haven't seen anything from them, though.
Yeah, well, I think they had a bumper crop last year, and it's not been the same.
Well, they've been on vacation too, so.
But yeah, they gave us a bunch of them last year, and I made apple crisp and stuff like that. I didn't can stuff because the one thing that I'm running into here is that, and I believe it has to do with our altitude, that especially things that need to be pressure canned, it's really hard for me to get it up to the pressure that I need it to be in order for it to be safe. So I'm actually looking into, and we're saving up for me to get an electric pressure canner. And this leads into who I've been watching lately. Ah,
yes. We'll talk about that in just a minute, though. Yeah. Hold that for just a second. But the garden had lots of tomatoes. The peppers didn't do so great.
Yeah, peppers are the bane of my existence.
That was a rough one. Me. Yeah, and the squash usually does better, but it didn't do. It did okay.
My plant got huge. Yeah. And I had probably about, I don't know, 8 zucchinis that came off of it. But the one that was in full sun didn't do well at all. No, it was.
And then
I had spaghetti squash. I've got about 8 of them downstairs.
Yep. And I sneak them to feed my chickens.
Rude.
No, we'll get to the whole electric pressure canner thing.
Yeah.
Don't stress out about that because that's a whole new thing for us, and it's really cool how they can. It is really cool. But to finish the garden thought, we did kale, and the kale got like that tall. I mean, just
it was
incredibly
like 4 feet
tall.
Yeah.
And we don't grow kale because we love kale and love to eat kale. We grow kale because it's a great supplement for our chickens. And
because we can't let them out in the summertime where they eat everything in my garden.
Now, we're going to talk about a huge betrayal that happened.
Oh, goodness.
And I have to warn you that this is not for everyone. Okay? You might want to, if you're scared easy, you might want to turn away. This is one of the biggest betrayals I've had in my chicken career. It is huge.
Dramatic much, Kevin?
Yes, it's a big deal because it was very upsetting. I went out of my way to. We had probably too many chickens.
Yes.
We weren't able to keep up with the eggs. The eggs were coming on us, and we were just kind of wasting.
We had eggs all over.
We were giving them away. We did try not to waste them.
We could not give them away fast.
We could not keep up with them. So we pared everything down to 4 chickens. Plus 2 that I had raised from little baby chicks. We drove 2 hours south of here and got to a place that carries chicks year long, and I picked out 2 that I really wanted.
Well, you picked out 3.
Well, yeah,
and
but one of them passed
didn't,
away.
He didn't make it. She didn't.
Did not
it
make
didn't
it.
Make it.
It didn't make it on the ride home.
And that just kind of happens.
It does
sometimes with your chicks.
Baby chicks are
very fragile.
Fragile, but still resilient. And I raised these 2 to be egg layers. The sign said they were not a straight run; that they were supposed to be females. And
it was a Polish
hen, and a silky, a black silky.
Which we love silkies.
We love
they're
silkies.
Wonderfully weird chickens.
They are wonderful, yes. But now on to the betrayal. We kind of had a feeling about the Polish because it was kind of looking like one with the tail feathers going up. It turned out to be a rooster. So we kind of knew that was coming, and we gave that one away, and it was fine. But the one that breaks my heart, the one that wakes me up in the middle of the night, the one that
he goes out to every morning and going, "You betrayed me."
Betrayed me is the black silky. It's a rooster. And it looked at me for the very first time 2 or 3 weeks ago. It looks at me. It's out in the garden. It's out pecking around in my backyard. It looks at me and then just starts.
Only it's like weird sounding.
Oh, it sounds like it has a sore throat.
Yeah.
It's like. But that's not the point. The point is it betrayed me. It was supposed to be a female chicken, and it turned out to be a rooster. So now I have to live with a rooster.
Tina, we have a Buff Orpington too. That was one of the ones when we paired out.
Love the
So
Buff
what happened
Orpington.
is there was a gentleman in the valley that he needed some chickens.
Yes.
And so we gave him
6
of them.
Yeah.
And so
we really paired
But we
down.
kept our Buff Orpington. We kept one of our Easter eggers and our 2
Plymouth Barred Rocks.
Yeah, our Barred Rocks, because we really like all of those.
We do. We love our Barred
and
Rocks.
I love the Silky too, because still he's like wonderfully weird. Like he kind of wanders around and like he doesn't like pay attention. Like Silkies have always been kind of that way. Like they're just kind of their own bird, and they don't really. I don't think they actually need a flock.
He'll do rooster things. He'll do rooster things, like he'll kind of try to scoot the other chickens around. They just ignore him.
Well, because they're twice the size of him.
Well, not anymore. He's a little bigger.
Fluff is not very intimidating.
It's not. I was betrayed. I had such high hopes for that chicken to lay eggs, and no, we've had Rhode Island Reds,
she's
actually.
Right. They are kind of
They are incredibly needy.
And Longhorns are very skittish, and so are Polish. Polish are very
the Polish
skittish
hen
too.
that we learned about that one. That one was
Yeah.
That one was just
okay, I got to put my hoodie on.
Yeah, that's fine. But we still have chickens. We still do things with chickens, and who knows, I may grab a couple chickens to raise since I was betrayed. I just
I don't think we need more chickens.
I don't want to have roosters. I don't want them. They can be very loud and very violent.
Need more chickens than
Ta-da.
A rooster is.
What is a barred rock and what do you get when you combine a barred rock and a silky?
One funky looking
chicken. One funny looking chicken, man, I'll tell you. But anyway, enough about the chickens and my terrible betrayal. But we just are so thankful that we get the privilege of coming on YouTube and making goofy videos with you guys and showing you little snapshots of our life. And we're grateful. Please continue to like and subscribe and comment and ask questions and give us your vantage point. I feel like I've been on a learning curve with the with the trailer, learning about the trailer and how do you drive with it, how do you pull with it, how do you fix it up, what are the things that make it work. And so we're not done with that either.
All the little doodads and gadgets that you get with it that you like.
Yeah. Oh, I love the gadgets. That's my favorite part of camping is the gadgets. But we're gonna continue. I joke about getting rid of this, but we're not going to. I'm gonna add some more things to it and dress it up inside a little prettier. Because it isn't too shabby. It's a nice place to stay.
Yeah.
We got to make it a little more comfortable though. It's a little bit hard on the rear end.
Seeing as we're sitting on solid wood now because you pulled all the cushions out.
Well, we needed to because it had gotten worn too quickly, and we didn't put material in that could handle the wear.
Well, we were doing with what we had at that time,
and it worked for the season.
And we also found too that we needed more padding in it because we are rather fuller figured gals, and and so we're actually thinking about like putting actual mattresses here where we sleep. And that'll be great. Yeah, that'll be great. But we're gonna try to put in a new ceiling. We're going to try to do a few things with the refrigeration that we talked about. Yeah. And there is not, as this time, any heat in the trailer. So we don't go camping in the winter because it is cold here.
But I have a plan. It's going to be good. So stay tuned for all of the fun stuff that we're going to provide for our channel. We're always going to go on weird trips and hopefully bring you along with us. We've done something that you need to know about. One is we make videos for you guys here, and we're not going to stop. That's going to keep rocking. But some of the behind the scenes stuff we are putting on Patreon. We're not going to blow the doors off and say, hey, you need to go and check out our Patreon page all the time. But it would be really cool if you guys wanted to see some extra content to go there. All the money that we get from Patreon goes back into the channel for new cameras, new cooking equipment, which is really the most important part.
It's dangerous because
there's so many good gadgets, aren't there?
Well, no, because I was on Amazon looking at cast iron pans because I need to replace one. It's weird because I've never had one do this, nor have I known anybody else. But I had and it was my favorite one. It was my 10-inch cast iron skillet that was from 1870 something, and it got dropped just in the right place, and it shattered. And I'm like, that. I wasn't saying it was.
It was me. I did it. I broke. You grab her. You find her favorite pan, Kevin, and you go to hang it up, and it flips out of my hand and hits just in the right way, and it shatters. I've never seen cast iron shatter like that.
Well, and it was one of those ones too where newer cast iron now it's got kind of a bumpy. Yeah. Inside, this one was glass nice on the inside. It was nice and smooth. It was seasoned perfectly, well. And so I'm on a mission to find me a new cast iron pan, and I got on Amazon, and I was like, oh, this is dangerous. I'm like, there's so much stuff here.
So many goodies.
I could use that. I could oh my gosh, they make a 9x13 cast iron pan, and that would be great to do biscuits in.
Yep.
Especially with the amount of biscuits I have to make for our family because my son has asked me, he's like, Mom, will you make biscuits and gravy? I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I usually have to triple my biscuit recipe because that boy himself will eat a dozen of them.
That's right.
And he wants to do the gravy, which means I got it just for our family, it's like, I used to do just a pound of sausage, and I was told there wasn't enough sausage in my gravy, and now I had 2 pounds, and I was told that we didn't have enough gravies.
Yeah, well,
now it's 3, and pork and sausage is really hard to find around here.
It is interesting how sausage has been tougher to buy.
Well, and it's been more expensive. We used to be able to get a whole pork loin for 99 cents a pound, and it's jumped to $1.99.
Yeah.
And our ground beef went from $9.95 to $13.95.
And no need to fact check that. She's right. Just get on with it. It's okay. You know what I mean?
Hello there.
All of our cats are out having a little fun in their cat-like ways.
Yes.
But we're gonna move on. We've got a fire brewing outside. I'm gonna do a little bit of firing. I've got a solo stove, which I love. I'll put a picture of it up on social media for you guys so you can see it. And that's what that's what I'm gonna be doing. Heather's probably gonna go in and go to bed because, well, hi Pooch.
Oh,
and Gina's here, and get ready because she's gonna knock over our camera. Oh, there she goes. There she goes.
Hey, Gina.
Gina, up. There you go.
Come
on. So, anyway, we are. Why don't you go in with Miles?
Go in with Miles. Yeah, you don't need to be out here with us. No.
She's just getting further away.
Oh yeah.
Oh well. And she's gonna make it worse. So.
It's
Anyway,
all going horribly
it's
wrong.
gone terribly. The animals have invaded.
Yeah, Rufus is out. Gina, go.
Gina,
okay,
out.
Come on.
Out. Go on.
Go on.
Out you go.
Go on.
Yeah. So, there's some more cooking videos.
Hey, the Family Homestead is here. Hi, guys. We were just telling them earlier.
We were telling secrets about you.
We hit 4,000 subscribers.
That's
and
right.
that if
Brad.
it wasn't for Brad, we wouldn't have our channel name. He was the one that thought it up.
Yep.
And like you guys were a big help for us getting started and going. So thank you.
Huge help. And we want to say a big thank you because without you guys there wouldn't be a Goin Batty channel. So that's
we would have been named something very blah. So.
Yeah, I don't think even on the technical side of it I would have made it without Brad's help because he's just very wise about a lot of those areas.
Yeah.
Where I know him now, but I didn't know him then, and he was just like, okay, Patsy.
And it has come in. It actually came in really handy.
Yep.
When the COVID hit in our church, like we did, what they asked, like 2 weeks to slow the spread and stuff. And
shucks, Betsy's forever.
All that technical stuff that he had to do going online, we had to do it on the fly, and nobody else knew how to do it. So
that helped us a lot when we got into when we had to shut down. But
and it's made it so that we can do where we can like broadcast the sermons from our church too, because they didn't have anything like that either. So
and we don't mention it very much on our channel, but I am a pastor and I pastor a church in Wyoming, and if you need a church to watch, you're more than welcome to join us for services. GreenRiverAllianceChurch.org, and she is back. The menace. Miles is like, you're killing me, dog. Get her. Go, Gina, go.
Gina, go on.
She doesn't
Don't
want to
make me carry you like a small child.
She is fighting it.
She's fighting it. Oh man, she does not like it.
Go on.
Yes, I'm a pastor. That's so funny. She does not want to leave. That's so funny. Pastor. Sorry, I said that wrong. And yeah.
Oh, not like
not like pasture.
Not like pasteurized milk.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a place where you can come if you don't have a church home and watch and be a part of things. And we have a small but mighty online community that you're welcome to join us at and be a part of that at. So please check it out if you want to. Anyway, was there anything else we needed to cover?
Oh, we were going to cover, like I said, we were talking about the pressure canner.
Oh, the pressure canner,
because of our altitude, we are at above 6,000 feet. And I've been really having a hard time with my pressure canner. It'll get up to it, but it just barely gets up to 15 pounds of pressure, which I have to can most of my stuff at. And so I have been watching this lady, and her channel is Rose Red Homestead.
Rose Red Homestead.
Now this lady, she has a science background.
Yes.
And she has
been not like Bill Nye science.
No,
it's real science.
No, she's not an engineer that put on a lab coat.
Yeah.
Because like if Phineas and Ferb has taught us anything, that just because you have a lab coat doesn't make you a scientist.
Yeah, she's not a scientist like Phineas and Ferb or scientist.
Well, they always think he's a pharmacist. And
she's not a
She's
not a doctor like Dr. Pepper's a doctor. No.
Yeah. So,
but she goes all the way to like the horse's mouth on things like the FDA and their requirements.
And she,
right?
yeah, and she's very particular about, you know, she'll talk about stuff like, you know, don't oven can things, don't, things that, because she has that food science background. And Presto, like, because I know you can't pressure can like in an Instapot. Right. You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
And but Presto makes a pressure canner, an electric pressure canner.
Electric
that
pressure canner
is made to work up to 7,000 feet.
Yep.
Which
we're at 6,000.
We're at 6,000. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, but and she has this little doodad that she sticks in her jars.
Yep.
And she it reads the temperature and how long it's in that kill zone. Mm-hmm. And so just about everything awesome. That she's got a lot of sciencey stuff that goes along with it.
Yeah.
But
hi Krista.
So she has the science behind it to back up. Yep. And there are certain ones like Instapot I think does make a pressure canner.
Yep.
But it doesn't work at a certain altitude.
Yep.
So I am doing my research on the Presto one.
Yep.
And because like I said I have a glass top stove. So
yep.
You know that's
Well, and one of the things that we're thinking about doing is we at some point will convert our electric stove to gas. But in the meantime, they have these outdoors ones that let's see, they're for camping, really.
Yeah, they're camp stoves.
They're for camping, really. But you can use those to can with.
I miss you too, Krista.
It's going to bring you the temperature and the control that you want, right? Mm-hmm. The ones outside.
Yeah, because a gas stove and when I pressure can stuff at my friend's house, I was teaching her how to do it.
Yeah.
She has a gas stove and we didn't have any problem getting it up to temperature. And I think part of it is the altitude here and the fact that an electric stove doesn't heat as high as a gas stove. Now, I had not tried it on my brand new one, and I'm not sure I want to.
I've seen some horror stories about that. I don't want you to.
Yeah, but those are like really old pressure canners and people that don't know how to use them and stuff like that. I know how to use mine.
Yeah, you're pro. I get it.
So, but yeah, I helped her do the tomato sauce. My friend do the tomato sauce and the green tomato verde salsa. Ooh. And we did, like I said,
I have to stop.
I did pickles.
I have to just stop and say, if you have a plethora
of green tomatoes,
consider making the green salsa. Because that was one of the most versatile things that I think we've ever done.
We use it taco night. We use it on burritos. We use it on enchiladas. I make
it for
a green chili
salsa. We use
verde.
It for, yeah. Oh yeah.
But
so good.
And I had somebody ask about the tartness when they were because you have to cook it down. It's gonna be tart just because it's green tomato. Because they asked about adding sugar to it. I don't add sugar to mine.
Right.
It's gonna be tart because it's the green tomatoes, but once you cook it, the flavor kind of like mellows and it it infuses all the like garlic and stuff in it. It's not. I don't think it's as tart, but
it's not.
So
it's tart if you're not used to the. At first, I wasn't used to green tomatoes, but after you get kind of the right seasoning in it, and you get the salsa going and the flavors, it's off the charts, my friends. Off the charts. It was just so good.
Yeah. And the other thing too that was weird is I used a recipe from my Ball Blue Book canning book.
Yeah.
For that salsa. And when I went online, because I didn't have my book with me when I was at my friend's house, that recipe is no longer there anymore. Huh. So I had to go, I went to the I forget what it's called. The
FDA thing?
I think it's I forget what it is.
There's some federal websites that you can go to that have standards in canning, and I didn't know this until we started watching that. I got a recipe from there, and it was almost similar to it, but there was a slight bit of difference. I think this one called for white vinegar in it instead of
like lemon juice or something. So, which I'm okay with that. But anyway.
Yeah, sure.
So we did that, and then so if you're looking for somebody who kind of knows the science behind certain canning things and why you need oxygen absorbers and things.
This lady is smart.
She is smart, and it's Rose Red Homestead.
Rose Red Homestead.
And she actually reminds me a little bit of pictures of your grandmother.
Of my grandmother?
Yeah, when before.
Of Lois?
Well, when she had her bright red hair. I only ever knew her when she had completely white hair.
Oh, she had some red hair.
This lady has like red hair and everything.
Lois was a force to be reckoned with.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
She didn't can though. I don't think. Maybe she did. I can't remember. Anyway.
And
she is this lady that cans though. I learned some stuff. I watch her too, and I watch her with Heather typically because half the time I don't know what she's talking about. But man, she's smart. There's a reason for everything she does, and she articulates the difference between water bathing and canning. What's safe to can, what's not safe to can.
It's just a zoo in here. Here comes Chuck.
Chuck just came in. Our cat.
He loves being in the trailer though.
If he's not careful, he'll get locked in here tonight.
Kevin one time almost went on a camping trip with him back here.
That's true.
Because we were like, where is he? Well, he must be just.
He goes in that cubby that he just went into.
Yeah, the cubby back there. Anyway,
yeah.
And then the other lady that I've been listening to / watching, like she has a podcast. And she has a YouTube channel, is Melissa K. Norris, and on, if you listen to podcasts, she's the Pioneering Today. I think that's it.
Can you leave a link later?
Yeah, I'll leave a link later.
That way,
but she interviews all sorts of people, and and I've learned a lot from, because she is in. We've had to learn how to garden not only in a higher elevation, with a smaller growing season and a drier climate.
Yeah.
Because, and Brad and Krista can attest to this. Like, when you live in Ohio, you have like 125, maybe 130 days for your growing season.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom's still harvesting stuff, and it's the middle of October.
Yeah.
Here, no. I mean, our growing season was over.
What, 60 days? It was 60 days?
We had, maybe
90?
Maybe 90 at the most if we're pushing it.
Yeah.
And so I'm following her because her growing season is much shorter. Now, she lives in the Pacific Northwest, so they have more rain than we do.
Yeah.
But the growing season is about the same. It's a lot shorter than it is, in the Midwest.
And she does some things like she covers her soil to protect it and keep moisture in it. We've learned some lesson about watering, so she's a great person to learn from when it comes to that. And she goes into detail too.
Yeah.
Like, she's not just hey, we're doing this, and then like, sometimes I know when you watch the Goin Batty channel, sometimes we're like breezing through really quickly. She'll stop and she'll explain things very meticulous
in her stuff, and she's got some great. Like, the other thing that I've had to change because of our altitude is, if any of you have ever made Krista's artisan bread, it is wonderful. It's wonderful. And I used to make it all the time, and it was great. Well, since we moved here, it has been flat. It's like eating pita bread.
Yeah, it's still good.
It's good, but it only rises
great.
Like this much.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I need somebody who's in a higher altitude. And so I had to, I'm sorry, Krista, I had to switch over to her bread recipe, and it did work better.
Yeah.
So, but
Krista just said that their growing season was about 100 days, and they just harvested all their tomatoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, there are things, idiosyncrasies like that, where we can learn from people that are living in higher altitudes, and she's one of those ladies. But she also does, I mean,
she does like herbal remedies and stuff, and like stuff that
medicinal stuff.
Yeah, and she has like her medicinal herbs, and we've learned a lot of that stuff, like how to make your own like cough medicine. Brad and Krista's taught us that, and they've done like elderberry syrup and things like that. And this lady, I don't know, she's done something called fire cider, which I've heard. Now our friends Leah and Michelle make fire cider.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know if Kevin can handle fire cider. It's supposed to knock out a cold like really quickly.
I don't want to handle fire cider. It's just tough enough. I think we had a comment from somebody, but
okay, yeah. Hold on, I'll get to. But then the last one I've been watching lately, and she's in Canada, so she's higher elevation.
The lady you were just talking about?
No.
The one you're talking about.
The one I'm going to talk about is A Traditional Life.
Oh yeah.
And she's in Canada, and they've kind of built their little homestead. And she's been doing, because I've been thinking, well, maybe we need to try this hugel culture, where you do it. And Leah Michelle did hugel culture too, but where you take logs and then sticks, and you kind of cover it with a layer of hot compost.
Yeah.
And then you put a layer of wood chips over it, and then you put your soil, and you plant in that. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to hold in the heat, and it's supposed to hold in the water. As the sticks and the wood decompose, it makes a mulch underneath, but it keeps, because, you know, like I said, the water here is just, I mean, it's funny because I watch these people build all of these great big homes way up high on the hill. We live in a high plains desert, and I'm thinking, you people are dumb, because when you're gonna need it, you want to be down by the water. We're not that far from it, so there's a river that runs through our town. So
yeah, but there's a I'm sorry, I'm distracted by Chuck. He's jumping all over the background here. Those are some great channels, and we are learners. That's kind of what we do. We take what we learn and try to apply it to the things that we do, and our goofy little channel has been a privilege to kind of take you guys on that journey with us. Was there any other channels that you're watching?
Well, no, just the normal ones.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I watch Brian Krista every Sunday.
Yeah.
Except for when we weren't in town. We were in South Dakota. And
that was a fun trip.
Oh, yeah. We went to Mount Rushmore, which is funny because people around here are like,
Well, some people, even, they've lived in Wyoming their whole life, and they've never been to some of these
places. They've never been to, like, Yellowstone.
And we're still in that season of tourist,
yeah,
you know, where we want to go and see everything. And the area we live in is so beautiful. There are canyons, there are mountains, but they're not mountains in the way that you think of mountains, right?
Well, I mean, they're not like...
It's not like...
We're technically in the Rocky Mountain Range.
Right.
But we're not like... You know, real
there are
strong
pine trees
peaks.
and there.
Like when people think of mountains, a lot of times they think of like the Grand Tetons,
right? And
where our mountains are a little more rounded, I guess is how I would describe them.
Yeah.
You know, they're a little more wind blown, and it is vast, and some people would call it desolate, but there is a beauty here. Like we were driving to the next town over because we had to get our driver's license fixed because we had our old address on it.
Yeah.
And there were wild horses right next to the road. So, and
we showed you some videos of that.
Yeah, I keep telling Krista, I'm like, if Hope wants to come out here, the rumor is...
You catch one, you keep it.
And I'm pretty sure it's not a rumor. Like,
no,
if you catch one, you can keep it.
Yeah, there are wild horses out here, and they're not part of a ranch, and they're not part of anything. They're just run wild, and it's about 15 miles that way.
And we have found that... So my brother and his kids came out in the blazing hot summer, which was funny because the week before they came in June, they came the second week of June, we had snow 2 weeks before that because I'm like, she's like, how should we pack? And I'm like, I don't know, weather here's crazy.
It could be anything.
And so we were going to take them to see the wild horses, but what we found is that the wild horses come out when we've had a really hard rain, which only happens about 3 days a year here.
Yep.
And when it gets cooler, because I took my mom out about a week ago, and we probably saw 3 herds of like and they have little separate herds.
Well, remember that one day we went out and saw 60?
Yeah,
it's crazy. So we are going to. She would love to catch a wild horse. It is harder than it looks. I will tell you that it is not easy.
Well, it wasn't. Okay, I have a story. When we first got here, there was a rodeo, and every town around here, they all have rodeos, and it usually comes along with the fair. Like right before the fair, they have rodeos, and they had caught a bunch of wild horses, and it was some of the junior riders. Like if you could stay on it for a certain amount of time, like you won that horse.
That's right.
There was one horse that he would have none of it, and like the person was sitting on it, and it sat down. And then it laid down, and it wouldn't go. It wouldn't go anywhere. And I couldn't remember. It was one of the ladies that it goes for. She has 3 little boys, and they go to the rodeo every year, and they have like the best time. Their littlest one used to call it the rodeo, and I'm like, "Where'd you go? Where'd you go?" He goes, "I went to the rodeo." So he's awesome. I love him.
He's a great kid.
But But yeah, so that horse, like that one would have been easy to catch because it would be, nope, not going anywhere. So.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Donna
Terry is here.
I saw Donna Terry.
Hi, Donna.
How are you? We're glad you're with us.
Yeah. In fact, I used in my mixing video, my basics mixing video.
Yeah.
The wooden spoons.
Oh yeah.
I still have those wooden spoons that you gave me. So yeah.
That's
and I
cool.
use them all the time because they're bamboo. They don't split and stuff. They're awesome. I love them. So.
They are awesome. She does love them.
Yep.
Well, we have been on for almost an hour.
Yeah.
And we just got on to say real quick thank you, but look at what happened.
It happens.
It does happen. There's no real channels that I watch other than.
Oh, yes, there is.
Well, I was talking about homesteading channels.
Okay.
Because there are some other. I've gotten into some RV channels because I just think they're fascinating. I don't necessarily want to live in an RV and go traveling and living around the country. I'm happy being a weekend warrior when it comes to RVing. But there are some channels that give you good information about how to boondock and what kind of things you need to make your life a little bit more comfortable.
This is not the channel I'm talking
I'm getting
about.
there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And
it's the most guy channel ever. Ever.
And so I watched these channels to get a little bit more information about being an RVer because I was having trouble figuring out some of the things that I needed to go camping. But there is a channel that Heather's talking about that I do watch pretty much every night. And it's a channel based out of Utah, just south of here. And it's called...
He goes to Moab a lot.
Yes, he does go to Moab a lot. It's called Matt's Recovery. Matt's... something. Shoot, I'm forgetting it. Look it up on your thing.
Recovery, I don't know.
Rescue and Recovery. And basically what he does is he takes his 4x4 Jeep and his entire team of people and goes out and rescues people who get stuck, get their trucks stuck, break their ATVs, whatever it is that's gotten out there. They break it and he comes and gets it and brings it back.
Great big wheeled vehicles.
Huge Jeep.
And
it's a Jeep Cherokee called the Banana.
And then a Corvair
that they call the Morvair because they took a Corvair top and then they turned it into this incredible off-road vehicle that's just off the hooks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just awesome.
And so it was funny because one night I was feeling like super inadequate because I'm doing the kids, because I'm not having to do like their grades that they get for school, but then I'm having to do their GPAs now and their cumulative GPAs and stuff like that. There's Chuck. And I'm going, I feel like, that I'm just, I don't have a college education. I don't feel, or a full college education. I don't feel like I'm qualified to do this. And he turns and he looks at me, he goes, I have a college education, and guess what I'm doing? I'm watching a guy pull trucks out of the dirt with another great big truck. I'm like, don't feel so bad now. So,
yeah, it makes you feel better. It does.
Yeah.
It's a great channel.
Matt's Off-Road Recovery.
Matt's Off-Road Recovery. That's it. Exactly. Did someone know it?
Yeah, Brad Talby did.
Oh, yeah.
That does not surprise me.
That is a great watch.
Yeah.
And they always have Ed on there, and it's just...
Is that the older guy?
Yeah. They're doing a special recovery soon, and it's one of Ed's vehicles that he lost way back when he was gold mining a long time ago. But I'll let you watch their channel to get it all, because I won't do it justice.
It's a very manly channel.
It's a good channel. And
but they do have a girl on their team, and like
Lizzie,
yeah, it looks like he kind of apprentices some of these younger people. Like
his son works for him.
She welds.
Yep.
And from what I could understand, like she welds better than some of the other young guys that they have there.
Yeah.
Like, because I always see her welding and nobody else.
And there's some other
Matt.
guys.
I see Matt welding too. So.
Well, there's some other guys that do a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But anyway, enjoy that channel. It's a gift from us to you. No, I'm kidding.
No.
It's Matt.
We had nothing to do with it.
So. But now you know about it, which is important. So if you're
Yeah.
watching this on the rewind, check out Matt's Off-Road Recovery because it is. I think what I like is they always have new episodes coming out. You know, they're
people
not.
are always being dumb and getting stuck somewhere.
Yeah, and they record it. I mean, even if the person doesn't want to be recorded,
if he pulls you out.
That's right. He does. He gives you a free T-shirt.
And he has regular customers that he pulls out all the time. There's a lady I've seen like 4 times that he's pulled out.
Yes, and she intentionally uses him. So
yeah.
But it's a good channel. I like watching it. There's others. I mean, Long Honeymoon is always.
You watch a lot of. Yeah.
I watch Long Honeymoon rerun after rerun after rerun.
Especially the ones for the Tetons and Yellowstone.
We had a moment where, and I think I told you guys this. We had a moment where we camped in the Tetons for one night, and I want to do it for much longer. But that one night was so fun and so cool and so exciting. But the Tetons are now getting ready to close.
Yeah, I think part of
Yellowstone is
part of Yellowstone. They've already closed.
Yeah, it closes for the winter because the roads just get crazy. KYD is another one that's awesome.
Daydream. Yeah.
Keep Your Daydream. They're great people. We try not to get too fangirl with any of these, but I have problems sometimes.
He does.
I do, because I think it's awesome. I think some of the things they do. Less drunk, more
because
journey.
you swore one time that you saw Long Honeymoons, their silver Airstream and their truck Seymour. Like we were driving, it was going the other way, and he's like, "I swear that was there." I'm like, "Honey, how can you tell? The speed limit is 80 miles an hour here." Like,
this is where they come,
and that's
they go up.
Yeah,
they don't come here.
Well, I mean, it's a little slower on our stretch of it's only 75 here, but once you get
slower
out of these two towns,
like there's any reason for us to ever go 75 miles an hour.
I figured what it is that, you know, there's like what 280,000 people that live in the entire state of Wyoming.
Yes.
And they keep that speed limit fast because they don't want you to stay.
That's Wyoming people are very sweet and very kind, but they do want their state to stay unpopulated.
Yeah.
It's not a place where they want a whole lot of people to gather.
Because like I said, I mean, like hunting's big here. And it's funny because if you come from one area and go hunt in another town, people get annoyed about that, especially when it comes to elk. Deer, they don't care. We're lousy with deer, man. I woke up 2 days ago, there's 6 deer in our front yard.
Yeah, and they're protected in the city limits.
Yeah, you
couldn't shoot them anyway because there's houses right across there. But I mean, you got to actually buy a tag and go to a general area where deer are, and deer are less coveted than elk because elk are huge.
But we did get antelope sausage.
We did,
and
we got antelope meat too.
It was actually
we have yet to cook the antelope meat.
So what we've been told is that the which I always so here's how Midwestern I am. So when you would hear the song "Where the Deer" and the antelope play, I didn't really think that there were antelope out there. They're pronghorn antelope, and I've been told that the only thing that they're good to make is sausage out of, like summer sausage, because you are what you eat, I guess. And they eat the wild sage out here. People are like, they are super sagey. But we had our friends gave us some summer sausage they made, and he smokes it. And it had cheddar and jalapeno in it, and it was really good.
He always has trouble getting the end lit. Anyway, the girl that we said was a really good hunter, she takes her family out hunting with her. We talked about her earlier in the video. They gave us some antelope, and we have yet to try it, and she's a huge fan of antelope. She's like, you need to fry it up with eggs in the morning. It's a great breakfast. And I'm like,
it's like was it the
we're gonna try
strap is what she gave?
Yeah, they give us
so it's a different cut of meat.
Yeah,
so,
it's a better cut.
And it's been nice because all the wild game that people have given us, and they've been very kind doing it, has really supplemented our family. And like I said, I feel like it's healthier. It doesn't have, I mean, especially antelope. Antelope is really lean.
Yeah,
really lean.
It is.
But it's good.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm excited to see if you get anything when you go hunting. He was it a
I'm pretty clumsy, so hopefully I won't hurt
an
myself.
elk cow? Is that what you're?
Yes,
Yeah.
you have to, in the area in which I'm going to hunt, you have to submit your name for a draw, and they draw your name, and if you draw a tag, it's you get to go hunting for an elk, and I was lucky enough, blessed enough to draw a tag for a cow elk, and I've got a rifle, and I'm gonna be heading out there to. I'm not a good hunter. I'm not. The problem with me hunting. Okay, let's just put it out there on the table for all of YouTube to know. I am, and in every essence of the word, clumsy. I can be walking a straight line and fall down, and so sneaking up on an elk, I don't see that happening. I'm loud. I'm clumsy. I'm kind of clumpy. I don't know that I'm going to be the guy that's going to be able to get him. But out of 100 yards, I might be able to get him. I was shooting pretty good at 100 yards. 2 days ago, I went target practicing, and I didn't do too bad with a 30-06. So it was a rifle. It was a pump action rifle with a scope. And I know you don't see those very often. But instead of having the pullback, it was a pump action, and it had a cartridge in it. It carried four bullets. I didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
I did okay.
Yeah.
And I can leave that picture on my social media too. Go to Patreon. We'll leave it there.
Love and Life was saying that she's born and raised here, and she's 62, and she doesn't want her state to change.
Yeah.
And she said the cold weather and the wind, it brings only the hardy here.
Yeah.
Antelope is nasty unless you make it into sausage and grease. So, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's kind of the update as it is right now. Do we have anything else?
I don't think so. We keep saying we don't have anything else.
And then something comes up. But let's read a few of the comments.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the best people moved away, and I didn't move far into Kentucky. Donna Terry moved to Kentucky?
Yeah, she did.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Oh, be darned.
Yeah.
Well, she's always been a huge
lived not
cheerleader
long
for
after
our
we did.
channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been
Yeah,
a huge cheerleader.
yeah.
So shout out to Donna Terry. We're grateful for
Donna's
your
been very
support.
sweet. Yep.
Thanks for all of you watching our channel. I can't think of what else we should talk about, but that's a pretty good start. Keep an eye on our channel.
Cold.
And my rear end is kind of hurting because
it's dropped that
there's
30
no cushion.
degrees. It was like about, I don't know, it's like 65 today.
Yeah, it's
so
down.
It's probably about 35 now, and we're sitting in the camper that has no heat. So my nose is starting
but
to
you can't
run.
see our breath.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe we're sitting close enough to each other. Yeah.
There aren't a lot of trees, and there's part of me that loves that, and a part of me that really misses seeing trees of Ohio, because you see a fall color change, and you see all of the different colors and beautiful trees. And here they do have trees, but not out in the open range, not out in the desert.
I miss the trees. I don't miss the humidity, and I don't miss the ticks.
Right.
We where we are,
Yeah.
we
traded them for pygmy rattlers,
Yes.
which
And
are the most
sand
venomous
puppies.
thing in the world. Sand puppies, and wait for it.
mountain lions.
Okay, mountain lions. Okay, rattlers, pygmy rattlers.
Which are more deadly.
Deadly, yeah, they're
a
more
regular
venomous.
pig. And they're only about the size of a pencil.
And they're hard to see.
Yeah.
Then what was the second one? The
sand puppies.
Sand puppies, which are ugly bugs. Don't Google it.
Yeah, they're
It's
not actual
worth
puppies.
it.
They're a bug.
Mountain lions, and then black widows.
Oh yes, black widows. You have to be careful when you move
Yeah.
piles of wood.
You have to be careful when you smash a spider. You have to be careful when you. I was out getting the windshield on my truck had broken, and I was out getting it replaced. And at the place where I was getting it fixed, they were telling me stories of how pretty much every morning they find a black widow in their office space. Yeah, it's fun in Wyoming, but there's a few things out to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good.
Too many things that want to kill you. Yikes. That's true. I need to make time to watch I missed that
Friends
one.
again. Life has just gotten busy.
We had a badger in our town about a month ago. A badger? That's awesome. Although I hear they're very mean.
They're very mean.
Yeah, they're not
There
nice.
was something, I think it was either here or the next town over. I thought it was here. They had 2 of them under their porch, and they had to call animal control to come get them.
Those things are mean now.
Yeah.
Those are not friendly animals.
Well, and then if you call like after 6 o'clock, animal control's not there, so you can't go out your front door.
No. Yeah, you're waiting until the morning.
Yeah.
For sure. But we have tough animal control folks here. They're kind.
Oh, yeah.
They're tough.
Yeah.
They're good. So, all right, guys, we're going to sign off. Thank you so much for watching our channel. We love you guys. It's been great hanging out with you tonight. And as always,
more updates as we go.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Bye.